So the Cincinnati Bengals traded for Dexter Lawrence. I like this trade. I'll say for both sides. So yeah, the Giants 5th and the 10th pick. Giants feel like they're not necessarily in a situation where they're rebuilding, but it certainly helps getting the 5th and the 10th pick. And then the Cincinnati Bengals, they just this is awesome to get a star player who's still, I thought he was 29, still 28, does turn 29, I think, next November. So yeah, Dexter Lawrence, I mean, I was just talking, a lot of people, Chris Jones, Aaron Donald, the guys that get a lot of the publicity as some of the top defensive tackles. I know Aaron Donald's retired, but Dexter Lawrence is a guy that's been a top 5, arguably top 3 defensive tackle in the NFL for several years now. A big impact player, just not really is not really gotten the notoriety necessary just because the Giants have had their struggles. But yeah, Dexter Lawrence, an outstanding football player, and I think he really helps this Cincinnati Bengals defense. Because you look at it in the playoffs, the Bengals really kind of had to get into scoring, shoot, to get into shootouts to win. Now you think Dexter Lawrence is going to be a guy that helps against the run, and you feel like he'll get the Bengals some more key stops that can help the Bengals, Joe Burrow and Chase in their offense. So yeah, I think this move not only really helps the Cincinnati Bengals because they really need another impact defensive player. I think it helps the Bengals offense, and then I think it's like he's similar, maybe not to the level of Chris Jones in his prime, but he's similar. He can be a guy that could be a closer, could key run stop, key sack late in the game. So yeah, I absolutely love this move for the Cincinnati Bengals acquiring Dexter Lawrence. And yeah, if you're the Giants, you got a chance to optimize these 2 top 10 picks. So and we'll see what the Giants see how this trade impacts these teams moving forward. But this could be a trade both of these teams could really maximize the potential of it and really could do some nice things in the short term and long term from this move. So yeah, Dexter Lawrence quietly been one of my favorite players. I'd say quietly, I'd say he is one of my favorite players in the NFL. He just plays with a lot of passion, and you saw. I mean, going. I guess this is not really relevant, but this is a guy that was made a big impact in Clemson. He was on the 2018 national title team. Guy that's just made an impact. I think he was pretty highly recruited out of high school. Guy that's just made a big impact in all levels of football. So yeah, Cincinnati Bengals. You look at their defense. They got some good solid players on the defense, but a guy like this is just going to pay dividends for this Cincinnati Bengals team. So excellent move for the Bengals, and I also like this move for the New York Giants and John Harbaugh as they, I'd say, not necessarily try to rebuild, but try to bring in some more talent. And I guess the final thing I'll add with this, like if you're the Cincinnati Bengals, like what are the odds you would draft a guy at number 10? Maybe you could, what are the odds you'll draft a guy that at 10 that'll make the immediate impact that Dexter Lawrence will make? So I like the move. We'll see how it plays out for the New York Giants and the Cincinnati Bengals. And the last thing I'll add, this is pending a physical. So as long as Dexter Lawrence passes a physical, this trade will go through.